In his interview with Spencer Fearon the other day, John Fury has once again called for Sugar Hill to be sacked and has essentially tried to make a case for himself being appointed as the replacement. Yes, John Fury is an ex-pro, but what experience does he have as a trainer? How many British champions, European champions, and world champions has he produced? Zero. He trained his son Tommy to be a YouTuber, and now all of a sudden he thinks he's Eddie Futch. I mean, give it a rest. Look, John Fury is a boxing man. He does have a lot of knowledge, but Lennox Lewis is a boxing man too. Was he a good trainer? To be a successful trainer, you need more than just knowledge. You need to be a good communicator. You need to understand the psychological makeup of each fighter and tailor your approach accordingly. You need to understand the fighter's biomechanics and let that inform or dictate the style and technique you teach them. And it takes years of actually being a trainer to get good at these things. Being in the gym, working with different fighters every day, being in the corner every weekend, year in, year out. John Fury doesn't have that degree of experience. And the question you need to be asking yourselves is, why not? He's been around boxing his whole life, but how many corners have you seen him in? His son Tyson has been trained by a load of different people, including 2 uncles, but he's never allowed his dad John to take that position again. He allowed a young, inexperienced kid in Ben Davison to train him, but he wouldn't let John do the job. Think about that, people. There's obviously something about John that puts Tyson off having him as a trainer. I can tell you what I think it is. I think it's John's ego. The man's ego is bigger than his son Tyson, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, and Frank Warren combined. It's totally out of control. The problem for John is he never had the talent level as a fighter to match the size of his ego. It left him unfulfilled. But since having a talented heavyweight champion of a son, Tyson, he now finally has the opportunity to indulge this colossal ego of his. Peter Fury trained Tyson Fury to beat Vladimir Klitschko. But who made themselves center of attention at the post-fight press conference? It was John. Peter and Tyson could barely get a word in edgeways. It became the John Fury show. He was talking about coming out of retirement to fight David Haye, Lennox Lewis, and all this nonsense. That, in my opinion, is why Tyson hasn't allowed his dad John back into his corner. Tyson Fury fell out with Mick Hennessy, fired his uncle Peter, fired Ben Davison, and now may have parted ways with Sugar Hill as well. And what's the common denominator in all this? John Fury. These are all people that John Fury fell out with since he came out of prison. He was publicly critical of Ben Davison and urged Tyson to fire him. Same thing he's doing with Sugar Hill now. He also drove a wedge between Tyson and Peter because John has always wanted that position of trainer for himself. And now he's making an open play for it. John says that these other trainers are only after their 10%, that their loyalty only extends as far as they're being paid, which may be true in most cases. But what's also true is Sugar Hill is good at his job. He prides himself on his professional reputation, getting results with his fighters. If I call an electrician to rewire my house, he's only doing the job because I'm paying him. I could get a family member to do it for half the price, or maybe even for free because they love me. But guess what? They do a poor job. And if they, as a family member, really have my best interests at heart, they'll tell me, look, you're better off hiring an experienced pro. John might not want money from his son, but what he does want, in my opinion, is to share his spotlight, to be the center of attention. He wants to get all the credit for his son's success. John Fury's desire to indulge his own ego supersedes what's actually best for Tyson.